Poppy Playtime. Chapter 3 comes out this month, but 3 things in the gameplay trailer already showed how it's going to end with us killing Catnap. Let me explain. At the start, Poppy already says that we need to find the flower for a second time, and because we're obviously with her throughout the chapter, I really doubt she's talking about herself. So, what flower could she be talking about? Well, let's look at the possible flowers, which are Daisy, Crafty Corn's pendant, and possibly something to do with Catnap's poppy smoke. Let's look first at Daisy. We know that Daisy was a scrapped character, but one that is mentioned commonly. She already has pre-made assets and most likely will be used. However, I doubt that Daisy will be used in the chapter that focuses on the smiling critters. So, that brings us to Crafty Corn's pendant. We know that Crafty Corn will be put on the prototype idol later in the chapter, meaning that we most likely will interact with her earlier on. Not only this, but we know that in Chapter 1, Crafty Corn was the one who drew on the vent walls, possibly meaning that she has whatever flower Poppy is talking about. So, it seems like we have our flower. However, I don't think that Catnap's smoke is completely useless. I'll explain later. So, if Crafty Corn is the key to the ending, or at least a large part of the chapter, then what does she do to get shoved in the prototype idol? Well, my theory is that she gives us the purple hand or something special, and then dies with Picky, Kickin, and maybe even Hoppy before we can get her pendant or do something related with it. This would result in us having to find Crafty again, most likely where the prototype idol is, which is where we could find Poppy initially, or maybe even fight Catnap. So, how does this tie into the ending? Well, the gameplay trailer covers specifically 5 characters: Dog Day, Poppy, the prototype, Kissy Missy, and Catnap. Let's go in order how they all will lead to the end of Chapter 3. First, we have Dog Day. We know that Dog Day's voice actor is speaking to us throughout the trailer, telling us how horrible Catnap is, which raises the question of why is he chasing us, and why does he hate Catnap? Well, judging by the fact that he is talking to us, I think that the chase scene that we saw was just an act for Catnap. But that begs the question, how does this random side character tie into the end of the game? Well, Dog Day isn't just a kid, but actually Dr. Harvey, who is one of the main co-founders of Playtime Co. that wanted to make all of the kid experiments come true. However, after his transformation into Dog Day, I really doubt that he still sides with his old opinion. I mean, think about it. Let's say you were given a cool backpack and thought it was great until you opened up the bag to see 1,000 spiders. You wouldn't like that backpack any longer. Other than that, we know that Dog Day's role will most likely be helping us know how to take down Catnap, or just being another mindless enemy. Next we have Poppy. We already know that she is a bit of a nutcase when she made us crash down into the equivalent of a Kane Pixels YouTube video, and she talks to us throughout the gameplay trailer like we just instantly forgive her for that. But what's crazy about Poppy is that she has genuine human thought, unlike the rest of the monsters, meaning that she most likely has something to do with the prototype before any of this started. Other than that, all we know about Poppy is that she will be on our side and will direct us to where we need to go. After Poppy, we have the prototype. We know that the prototype is apparently the main villain and the one that controls everything, but we don't even know anything about him really, other than that he wants to destroy the factory for some reason. We know, however, that he will have a huge role in Chapter 3 because he is Catnap's idol, so he might have some sort of involvement. So, from my guess, him or Poppy will be the final boss of Poppy Playtime. Next, we have Kissy Missy. We know almost nothing about Kissy, but we do know that she is on our side judging by how she helped us in Chapter 2, did not want to be a part of the revolution, and that Poppy dragged her while saying that those monsters did bad stuff to us while looking at Kissy. Also, judging by the fact that she is unconscious in the gameplay trailer, I think that she is in a deep sleep, and we saved her when we put on the gas mask later in the trailer. Well, that leaves Catnap. Catnap, we know, used to be a kid named Theodore that is trying to worship the prototype and do whatever it tells him to do. Catnap also used to put kids to sleep and get them ready for being transferred into toys, most likely meaning that he is very vengeful towards anyone that tries to destroy the prototype, because the prototype helped kill the factory workers that did this to them. The last thing we know about Catnap is that he can contort his size and become a Dark Souls boss. So what do these characters have to do with Chapter 3's ending? Well, we're almost there, so now we know that Kissy Missy, Poppy, and some of the smiling critters are on our team against Catnap and the prototype later on. But the problem is though, how are we going to defeat this cat that is the size of the whole factory? We can't brute force it, that wouldn't work. Dog Day can only be about as big as the player, and Kissy and Poppy aren't that powerful. So, how do many modern countries win war? That's right, by getting into the enemy's head. If we look later in the gameplay trailer, we see 2 very strange things. The first being Catnap's smoke in a vat that we are for some reason using to do something, and a very strange dream sequence where we are just jumping in complete darkness. This is going to sound far-fetched, but I think that we kill Catnap by going into his mind in deep sleep. Hear me out. Why would we have Catnap's smoke in a vat? And why would we be powering it up unless we were going to do something important with it? And why would we be in a dream sequence and not already maybe be killed by Catnap. This is further added on by the new hand that we get, which is a modified purple hand. We don't know much about it, however the modification part is interesting because why would we even have that on the hand unless it is used for something more important than just jumping? This, again, is going on a limb, but maybe we use this new purple hand to get into the mind of Catnap with the new supercharged smoke. Well, with all of that, how is Crafty Corn's pendant important to all of this? And how does each character tie into the ending? Well, the best way to explain is to show you. Imagine this. You just explored the factory and saved Kissy, Poppy, and Dog Day from Catnap, and finally you go to where the flower is, in the basement of Home Sweet Home, which is where the prototype idol is. You see the flower right there on the prototype idol, but there's something crawling on the ceiling. Catnap. He looks at you down from below, but before he can do anything, you release the new smoke and he passes out. You use the purple hand to go into his brain and kill him once and for all. Then the chapter fades to black as we see the prototype dragging Catnap into whatever it's making.
If you like this video and want to know more about the gameplay trailer, click here and subscribe to my channel.